Welcome back to Stories with Dave. This is part one of chapter 13 of Hokey Pokey. There is a bomb in Gilead. B-O-M-B. The rumor about someone planning to blow up Hokey Pokey preceded Reverend Judge Goolsby's country tent revival style lynching party by more than a week. And anybody who heard it had recognized it as a sort of disturbance in the force. They were, to the last, a community well versed in the narrative of the midnight burning, and they knew full well they hadn't even gotten to that part of the story yet. The burning part always came sometime after the exciting, frightening, moonlit bonfire part next to the big circus tent in the woods. And then only after somebody with honest to goodness religious clout had spoken the magic inspirational words. Having the bombing before the big revival was like an immaculate conception. You couldn't have a pregnancy if nobody had been effed, not unless God himself was involved. And the only person everyone knew for sure that had been effed was Candy Goolsby. That particular rumor was in a race with the bomb rumor to see which could be the most popular rumor in Putnam County that week. And it came as a surprise to no one at all that neither Candy Goolsby nor Jenny Anderson was present in church the Sunday before the big country revival. Candy's absence came as no surprise because of the rumors afoot about her goings-on with that boy who managed the sex shop out on Route 111. Jenny's absence came as no surprise because her husband Jeff took great pains, as he did frequently, to offer a mansplaination for the benefit of the entire congregation. It never varied and went something like, "Hey y'all, Jenny won't be able to join us this week. She's got an extra heavy flow." He always said flow as slowly as he could to approximate a sort of onomatopoeia. And he went out of his way to make eye contact with the ladies in the flock whenever he said it. When those two competing rumors finally made their way to Siesta Imports, they did so simultaneously. And that was just as well, since Spencer heard them correctly as the same rumor. He got the bomb rumor from the same cousin who told him about the tent revival, and it came in the same way on his answering machine. Beep! "Hey, cuz, it's me. Just wanted to update you, man. My boy was up in Crossville yesterday, overheard some old-timers up there talking at the Red Dog Saloon, saying there was plans to bomb your place or burn it one. I'll come by Siesta later, see if I can't catch you there. I'm happy to help watch out at the store if you need extra men. Shit knows my wife's been happier than farting silk since that place opened. I reckon I owe you one." Beep. Spence got the candy rumor directly from John Nipper about 2 minutes after he clocked in for his shift. "Man, you reckon I ought to hang out there with him for a few days at the shop?" Nipper said. "You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, at least a few days after this tent meeting. If something's going to happen, it'll happen around then, I reckon. Once everybody's nice and fired up." "All righty then. Come to think of it, take old Buford out there with you too, please. He don't got much of a bite unless you're a butt plug, but he'll watch out real good. He'll bark." Spence loaded Buford into his travel crate. Nipper strapped to the shotgun seat of the truck. Buford didn't mind. "Reckon he knows where he's going?" Nipper said. "Wouldn't surprise me if he did," Spencer said. "Little effer sure does love him, that butt plug. Pines for it. Swear he does." None of the astonishment of pastel church ladies was out front picketing when Nipper and Buford pulled off 111 into the gravel drive that led to Hokey Pokey. Nipper thought that was odd for a second, and then he remembered. "Oh, yeah, the bomb," he said to Buford, who already had his head mashed up and his snout jammed against the grate of his travel carrier. Buford had heard the gravel under the tires. He knew what that meant. "Yeah, man. They stopped protesting the morning after, well, you know, that next morning," Code Talker said. "You reckon Candy will be back?" "I don't know. I hope not. I already feel like a sitting duck." "I bet you do. Spence thought me and Buford could join you out here for a few, till this pier blows over." "Man, I appreciate it." "Fellers like that," Nipper said, retrieving Buford's carrier from the truck, "they'd sooner burn you up as look at you, but them same fellers now, they'd think twice about burning a dog." Inside the shop, they released Buford from captivity. They watched the grotesque, ravenous reunion of Buford and his beloved. which he had already had by the base and had dragged halfway across the display room, where they could enjoy their reunion in private. "Dadgum," Nipper said. "Look how far he's done drug it. He's wanting to take his time with it, I reckon." There would be plenty of time, and it would crawl by like a box turtle through a bed of trillium, too. Every time they heard tires on gravel, it sent an electric ripple up their backs and along the base of their necks. When the bomb came, it would come just like that. They harbored no illusions about Goolsby's boys doing anything stealthy. They'd drive right up to the door and lob a grenade inside, or a pipe bomb or Molotov cocktail. They'd say something like, "Yin's doing all right," and just lob it inside. Boom! But there was no bomb that first day, nor the second day neither. There was only time, centuries worth of it for every second. And there were customers. Even without the added benefit of the church ladies' vigilant advertising, there was no shortage of new customers to Hokey Pokey. They came in from everywhere, from hollers that most folks had forgotten even existed. They literally came out of the woodwork. Of course, as many had come in to see the dildo named Jesus as they did shop for toys. It felt to the boys as if they were trapped at the locus of some stigmata-driven religious frenzy, except that it wasn't at all like the gag Steve Hume played on everybody down at Cafe Greenway, when he swore a plate of biscuits and gravy had taken the form of the face of the Virgin Mary. Most people who saw it said it looked more like Steven Tyler than the Virgin Mary. Steve said it was because the cellophane had matched the nose down on it some. None of them had ever seen the Virgin Mary in person, and they had only ever seen Steven Tyler in Rolling Stone magazine, sometimes maybe Cream. Even Steve Hume thought it looked more like Steven Tyler, but he kept that to himself unless somebody pressed him about it. He kept biscuits and gravy on special, though, and the breakfast numbers at Cafe Greenway improved considerably whenever you Z'd out the register after that. Pilgrims all reacted differently to Jesus, but they all made the same approach. They stood sheepishly in the doorway and stared at their shoes and said, "We's just wondering about that new thing y'all got. It's a Jesus dildo, I reckon." "Unfortunately, we don't have any dildos here, but we sell a wide variety of marital aids. I think I know just the one you mean. If you'll come this way." Every now and then, old Buford came snorting and snuffling through the shop at just the right moment, dragging along his beloved. That was usually all the excuse the pilgrims needed to make a hasty Irish exit. They had heard rumors, after all, about the things they did with sheep up here at Hokey Pokey. Dogs, too. They got out of there like the devil himself was 3 steps behind them. They didn't even look back until they were back on one leg. Thanks for joining me for part 1 of chapter 13. Come back next time for part 2.